Well, today, folks, we're going to shift our typical topics away from retirement income planning, investment planning, and all of those strategies, and really focus in on what we believe is a very big topic today, one that everybody needs to take seriously, and that's identity theft prevention and protection. You know, we can do everything right in our investments to create the best strategy that's going to be there for your retirement years, supporting your income, your goals, your dreams. And ultimately, if we don't do what we need to do to protect ourselves, protect our identity, protect our wealth, then we could be putting ourselves in a position to be susceptible for some significant catastrophic financial events that really could impact the overall retirement year. So what we're trying to do today is to bring some information and to enlighten you on what's out there today as it relates to these types of scams. To begin, I want to start with a couple of scenarios of what's out there today from the business world, and then some that relate to you as individuals. Many of you may have heard of the scam that happened out in China. It was over $25 million that a company was defrauded, and essentially there was a worker at a global finance, multinational organization, and they received a request from the CFO over in the UK requesting a secret transaction. Now, immediately the employee got a little bit concerned and started to question whether that was legitimate, but right then after, there was a request to do a Zoom call with the CFO. So the employee joined the Zoom call. On the call was the CFO, whom he recognized, along with other colleagues that he recognized, and they were discussing the transaction that was being requested. After the Zoom call was over, the employee felt very confident that the information was legitimate. He saw these people in person, he heard their voices, so he went on to process the transaction for $25 million. Ultimately, only to find out that the individuals that he saw on the Zoom call were a part of what's called a deep fake scam, where those individuals, in fact, were AI generated. They were not real. The voices were AI generated, all using videos and information that can be found online. And so that was a really big, one of the largest ones we've seen using this kind of AI technology out there. Now, from an individual perspective, we're seeing and hearing a lot of these scams very similar happening to individuals, where maybe a grandson is calling saying that they need some money, that they're in some trouble, and essentially it's the grandson's voice, everything sounds legitimate, the grandson's phone number, only to find out that it's, again, an AI generated scam or fraud. And so we just can't be too safe today as it relates to trying to protect ourselves. The impact of identity theft, all of these we know, but financial loss, right? It can impact our finances and the money that we have saved up. Emotional distress, really creating some negative feelings towards things that have just happened to us, and that can really create a downward spiral emotionally as well. Damage to your reputation. You know, as an employee, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to provide as much value for a company as we possibly can. And just being susceptible to one scam out there really can damage your overall reputation that you work a lifetime to try to generate. And, you know, not to count the time and effort and energy and resources that it's going to take to repair the damages if we are subject to fraud or identity theft and things of that nature. So how can we protect ourselves from the different types of data breaches out there? It depends on the type that we're dealing with. There, again, we've got the deep fake scam, the AI scams. These are becoming a lot bigger today. But then you just have your typical data breaches where your information is stolen, phishing scams where it's an email that they're trying to get you to click a link, or just theft of overall documents. The data breaches for us as individuals is really hard to protect ourselves from, because when we go make a purchase from an organization and our information is being used and it's stored in their database, there's really nothing that you can do to protect that information in that scenario. Now, we're hoping that the companies we're working with and that we're giving our information to, that they're doing their due diligence and that they're spending an appropriate amount of resources to protect that. But if your information is taken in a data breach, there are some things that you can do to protect yourself. Number one, typically when a data breach happens and you're notified of that, these companies and organizations are required to give you 1 year of free LifeLock or identity theft protection that you can just be a part of. So we highly recommend that if you don't already have some kind of a LifeLock or identity theft protection for your family, that you go ahead and take advantage of that. I believe that it's good to have this ongoing. For me and my family, we're a family of 5. I have identity theft protection for myself, for my wife, and then I've also included my 3 young children. One's 18 years old, 15 years old, and 10 years old. And I have identity theft protection on them because there was a time where a lot of these scammers were using social security numbers and information from children, using their information for years, only to find out when the kid becomes 18 or goes to get a college loan or a credit card that their credit has been damaged significantly. So we've gone as far as to protecting our entire family. I don't think that minimal expense per month, that I believe fully that that's worth every single penny to try to protect what we can. Another thing that you can consider in a data breach, or if you just want to protect yourself, is you can freeze your credit. I'm a big advocate of freezing your credit when you don't need it. You can go to the 3 main credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and you can freeze your credit. Essentially what that means is that nobody's able to pull credit in order to get a new credit card or to create some kind of a line of credit for a purchase. So a lot of the clients we work with, when you're in retirement, a lot of them have no debt. They're not using credit other than they'll use a credit card, pay it off each month. And so unless you're going to go out and you're going to be a part of a large purchase, whether that's a new vehicle that you may take a loan out on or purchasing a new home that there's going to be a mortgage out, there really isn't a need for your credit on a day-to-day basis. Very rarely throughout the year, in fact, will many of us use our credit. And so freezing that credit just takes a phone call, or you can do that on the website. And when you know you're going to go need your credit, then you just unfreeze it. It's as simple as that. Phishing scams is another big one. This one hits our household probably on a daily basis. And for a while there, my wife would send me screenshots of emails that she was getting essentially from Best Buy, Geek Squad, or PayPal, or all of these different really well-known household names saying, you know, we're confirming a transaction of X amount of dollars. Please click the link below if this was not you. Ultimately, she knew we didn't make a purchase like that, but the email looked 100% legitimate. And so she started sending all of those to me, and so I would review them. And ultimately, what we were able to identify is if you click the email sender's name, when it might say Best Buy Geek Squad, then it's a whole nother type of an email. You could tell that it wasn't a legitimate email. But anytime there's something like that where you're sent an email confirming a transaction, and if you're unsure whether that's legitimate or not, I would go directly to the website. Don't use any phone number in that email. Don't click any links. Go directly to the website. Find the 800 number. Try the customer service area to make sure that that email did or did not come from them. So a lot of these phishing emails, they're looking for you to click on items to be able to steal information from you, steal identity, steal your social security number, date of birth, all that kind of information. And then lastly, theft of documents. We may see that today technology theft seems to be more prevalent with these phishing emails, and then using AI as a way to defraud consumers. But people are still out there looking for documents, personal documents in the garbage and other areas, and using that against us. And so we recommend that you use a shredder at your home. For a lot of you, there's a lot of information that you need to shred on a regular basis. And so here in our company, one of the things that we do is The first Saturday after tax filing day, we put on a shred day free for the community for people to be able to bring boxes and boxes of information, watch their documents get shredded right in front of them on the truck and on the video recorder, to be able to securely get rid of those documents that has personal information on it. So you can't do too much today as it relates to protecting yourself. I'd say that everybody out there watching today would agree that they've worked hard for what they have and they've sacrificed for what they have, and you just can't be too cautious in trying to protect the wealth and your identity and things you've worked a lifetime for. Here at Beacon, one other thing that we've done just recently, we're excited to bring out to you guys, is we have a new webpage dedicated to identity theft protection and prevention for retirees. You can click on the link below and navigate through that website and get a ton of free resources that we've put out there for you to be able to protect yourself from some of the things we've mentioned here today.